When I first started this idea of Apollos, I had in mind, I had like this room. And it was the weirdest thing, just like this room that I could feel the music, and I could I could see, you know, how the movement would be, not only with the music but live, you know, movement with the lighting and with the whoever's in the band. So I saw all these things and I could feel these things, and I could even hear some of it, and some of it's starting to happen with the music that we have written now. I think when anybody starts out, I think they want to try and figure out, like, okay, how do I want to make this sound? You know, if you start a band, you want to figure out, okay, I can't just make noise. I have to like pinpoint a sound. So I spent hours just sitting down with synths and sounds and just, you know, different overdrives and distortions and filters and reverbs and delays, and like just trying to pinpoint what makes this string sound good, and how can I make it better? Or my pianos, do I want to have it that wet with reverb and delay? So a lot of twisting knobs, you know, guitar stuff. Like just recently I got a new rig. I just totally changed my amps, and I'm adding pedals, taking away pedals. So I'm always just tweaking, changing. I think that's the life of being in a kind of more on the experimental end of music, and just always trying new stuff. Is it on? Our dynamic with practice is different. We have tried multiple different ways, and I think we found what works. I send around demos and everything, like all the tracks I'm working on or ideas that I have, I'll send to the guys. I'll email ideas, and they'll be able to listen to it, so that when they get to practice, they know what we're going for. And then when we work on our sets and stuff, we do spend quite a bit of time with the songs and just trying to maybe change endings or change intros so that the songs can just better go in and out, and that way our transitions are better and they're more fluid, and they just work well together. They complement each other. We joke a lot, make fun of each other, which keeps things fun, because we have more serious music, but we keep it pretty lighthearted. We joke way too much, actually, but what are you gonna do? So with the live stuff, we really want to capture like a really thematic, dramatic, in a sense, kind of like an epic thing. One of our first shows was at the Beat Coffee House in Minneapolis, and it's a really small venue, and we basically destroyed it. Like with the music, it was so loud, and we're like, we have to play bigger places, or we have to like use toy drums or something, you know. So like we just realized we need bigger places, bigger venues, because we love to be able to feel the bass, feel the guitars, things pulsating, you know. And it hits you in your chest and you feel it, and the lyrics, you know, like, so everything, that's what we wanted to do. So we knew early on, like, we're gonna have to change everything. We can still play music the way we want to play it, but we have to create the atmosphere to get that too. first EP, we did pretty standard. You had a scratch track, and then you lay down drums and bass and guitar, vocals last. But with Ethos, we did it way different. We did Ethos, the song, the last song on the EP, we did that by itself, which is unique. We never actually practiced that song or anything. We just tossed it around through email and all that, and I was like, this is what I want to do. And went in the studio for like 2 days and came out with that song. For guitars, just stuck with Telecasters, and we had a Fender Jazzmaster. And I think I even used a Les Paul for some of the really noisy feedback parts. We used a lot of delays and reverbs to get those guitars to sound good, and we tried a lot of different pedals, and we did a lot of EQing. We used a couple different amps, an orange 8030, most of the dirty channel stuff for the overdrives, and then we used a Fender Bassman for the cleans, which turned out really good. We could do some really cool stuff with that. For drums, nothing too out of the ordinary with that. We added a couple toms, and we made the bass drum sound as big as we could without, I mean, still a studio tight drum kit, but made it sound as big as we could, especially with the cymbals and stuff. Having bigger cymbals for the nice wash and all that. Music video. That was awesome. We built our practice space up. We cut everything, the walls and stuff, to make them all black, got the lighting. We did it all ourselves, so that was really fun. Final Words was a really great thing for us because now it's a huge tool to be able to show our music in a different way. And it also was a great tool for people to kind of be able to enter in on what we want our show to be like, to enter into Apollos. We were walking in White Bear, and it was like a Friday night. You'd think it'd be busy. It was perfect. There was nobody in the streets, and the lights were great. I was like doing some lip syncing, and people were looking at me weird, and I was kind of nervous, and it turned out cool. And then we found like this big army field over in Mounds View area, and that was awesome, getting the hands in the field sort of effect. And we went over to Stillwater area and just got some really cool footage of just the rolling hills, so to speak. We don't have rolling hills in Minnesota really, so that was as close as it got. We really wanted to capture cool aesthetics, because that is another thing that we like to touch. We want our music to be able to speak through that. Finally being able to put it together was sweet. As a kid, you're like, who can do that? You know, you gotta have like the coolest stuff, and you gotta know exactly what you're doing. And here we are, early 20s, just figuring it out as we go. Biggest thing for our music is that we want people to experience our music like we do. We want people to, when they're driving home from work, from school, or wherever, that they can hear us and hear our music and you know, feel what we feel when we wrote it, or go to a show and they can see and feel and hear what we do, and that's the whole idea. So our hope for the listener, if you're watching or listening, is that you would find meaning and purpose in life. And our music is just another way to experience what life's about. All the grander and the greater and the really big and ambitious like sounds that we go for are trying just to let out what's inside, like in our hearts and our heads, and just what we're going through.
we're trying to capture that feeling and that knowing that I'm not very big and there's something bigger than me, and I might be going through the hardest time in my life, but there's something huge, there's something bigger. There's, as Apollos is all about, glorifying our Creator, our God. That's what defines this music. That's what defines the band. That's what defines us as guys, us as musicians, and just people. And that is really the pinnacle to what we do.